So more details are emerging of what happened the night that Senzo Meyiwa died in 2014. The late soccer star's best friend, Tumelo Madlala, continued his testimony in the Pretoria High Court today. Now, he was one of the people in the Vosloorus house when Meyiwa was gunned down, and he travelled with him to hospital. But the court also saw the defence accusing Judge Chifiwe Maumela of interfering with witnesses. eNCA Silindelo Masikane was in court. She joins me now from Pretoria. So, Slee, it was the last sort of half an hour or so of today that got very dramatic, and it's all to do with a question posed to the witness about whether he recognised any of the suspects. And this, for me, was a very key moment. Tell us more about it.
Certainly a very key moment and a development in this trial, Sally, because we are seeing the state basically trying to pose questions to Tumelo with regards to whether he recognizes any of the accused who are in the dock. They began by questioning him around what proceeded after the events of the shooting in terms of police investigations. We understand there was an ID parade within the first 3 days, because Tumelo says that's how long he remained in Gauteng after the shooting at Kelly Khumalo's home in Malberton. Tumelo says that in fact there was an ID parade where he didn't recognize anyone in that parade, but also they were subjected to a facial recognition report in terms of sketching out the intruders. And in that last 15 minutes, the state then posed a question with regards to whether he could recognize any of the suspects. Let's take a listen.
The state asks you whether are you in the position to identify any of the suspects before court?
If even if I was allowed to mention it yesterday or to say it yesterday, I was even prepared yesterday to say it.
Yes, say
it. This is why I'm breaking up.
Hence,
I requested. Can I just finish? Hence, I requested that break yesterday, my lord, because what annoyed me yesterday was to be in the same room as that person.
So I just want to finish off this where this all ended, because it got really quite rocky. The defence advocate was very unhappy. Where did this end, and what's going to pick up and happen tomorrow?
So, of course, we saw the defence then objecting to this line of questioning, saying that the state had not laid a basis for Tumelo Madlala to actually then answer this question. The state saying that they had prepared heads of argument, and, of course, the defence saying, but we haven't even received sight of these heads of argument. Therefore, how are they going to then respond? The judge then also pointing it out to the state that the state can't introduce this kind of evidence or lead this kind of questioning without the defence having seen sight as to the basis why. I think when we resume tomorrow, Sally, we will be seeing the defence, of course, once more objecting to the state leading Tumelo Madlala with that line of questioning around pointing out one of the accused as one of the intruders.
Right. So this was, for me, this is a key moment so far in the trial. So everyone's going to be watching to see what happens tomorrow. But there were some other very dramatic pieces of information that came out. For example, after Senzo Meyiwa was shot, he spoke about what happened at the hospital, that there was a physical fight between Senzo Meyiwa's wife and his girlfriend, Kelly Khumalo. Tell us about that.
So we are getting more details in terms of what transpired when Meyiwa was transported or rushed to the hospital by Kelly Khumalo using the BMW that belonged to Senzo Meyiwa. We understand that when they arrived at the hospital, it was Kelly Khumalo's mother who was informed that, in fact, Meyiwa was essentially dead on arrival, informing those who had transported him, and it seems that more people then started arriving at the hospital, including Senzo Meyiwa's wife, as well as some of Meyiwa's teammates from the Orlando Pirates Football Club. We understand, according to Tumelo, that there was some kind of an exchange or a scuffle between the two, and he says that he says that he doesn't exactly understand what caused it, but that Kelly Khumalo as well as Senzo Meyiwa's wife definitely, had an exchange of words when they met at the hospital. Let's take a listen.
From there, they took us to the benches in the waiting room.
Yes.
Yeah.
And especially because mangikumbula wafika no mandisa angimazi wahamba no mandisa umfazi wakho sel.
Okay, because by then now it was packed or full at the hospital, because even Mandisa arrived. I don't know who she was with. Mandisa is Senzo's wife.
Kwasekugcwele nama soccer players because imoto zayingena nje ziningi kwangena nama soccer players.
Even soccer players arrived because there were just many cars that were driving in.
And I think you mentioned it earlier that Tumelo Madlala stayed in Johannesburg because, of course, he's from KwaZulu-Natal a few days after the shooting. I think you said he stayed at Kelly Khumalo's flat. Just clarify that and why it's significant.
So, in terms of Tumelo being in Johannesburg or in Gauteng at the time, he was here on the invitation of Senzo Meyiwa, and he says that he had previously stayed at the Milberton home in which Senzo shared with Kelly Khumalo, and he says that he actually had no other choice or nowhere else to go but to return to that Milberton home with Kelly Khumalo and her mother, as well as Zandi, after the night of Senzo's shooting. And it seems that in the 3 days where he remained there, Kelly Khumalo then had a visitor. We understand that Longwe Twala's father came to see her. Let's take a listen.
Angayishosho ngamalanga ukuthi kwakuyiliphi ilanga, but while ngisakhona eMalbathini kuke kwafika uChiko Twala.
I'm just not sure about the day my lord, but whilst I was still in Malbatin, Chiko Twala arrived.
Chutukeli ngwana ukeli wayekhala kulawo malanga le nami ngingekho right chuthi uyowatshela uChiko no umngane wakaSenzo lona.
Okay. Because Kelly was crying in those days, and I was also not well. So she's the one who informed, that is now Kelly informed Chiko that this is Senzo's friend.
Okunye okuningi ngamuzwa ekhuluma noKelly embuza ukuthi akafuni ukuthi aye holding or something phesheya nanana.
I heard him speak to Kelly, inquiring from Kelly if she wasn't interested or didn't she want to go overseas for some holiday.
Yeah, so we're getting those details, as you say, Asli, and probably more is going to come through tomorrow after ending on quite a dramatic note, with Tumelo Madlala saying that he recognises one of the suspects. That is a significant development indeed. Thank you so much for giving us all the latest from today's developments at the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Of course, that is underway at the Pretoria High Court, and that is our reporter, Silindelo Masikane.